My next guest spent years trying to make sense of why she felt different than the rest of her family, until one day she uncovered a secret her mother had been keeping from her for 19 years of her life.
My name is Melissa Guida-Richards. I grew up in a very old-fashioned Italian and Portuguese household. My family was very close-knit and rooted in culture. I always felt like the odd man out, wondering why I looked different than my family. When I was a teenager, I started to question it a lot more. During break from college, I went home and I decided to go through some old paperwork in my dad's office. And I found my brother's original birth certificate. My parents had been hiding a huge secret from the both of us. Everything that I thought I knew was a lie.
Melissa Guida-Richards joins us now from her home in Pennsylvania. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. As we just shared, you mentioned that you were looking around documents in your childhood home. At the time you came across that birth certificate, what did it say that struck you and surprised you?
In the package of papers, there was reference letters, and as I was reading it, there was one line that stood out, and it said, "Their adopted daughter, Melissa." And that's when things really hit me, and I realized, wow, we are both adopted, and we were adopted from Colombia.
At the time, so your family had talked about going on a vacation, as I understand, in Colombia, but never revealing this. I'm sure there are a lot of people watching right now who may have a similar experience. I can think of a couple of people I know personally who'd gone through some paperwork and made this discovery. So it's not unusual, but what did it reveal to you, or how did it make you feel even now?
At first, I was in shock, and a few hours later, like, the anger hit, and I was so furious. And not because my mom wasn't my mom. Like, that never really occurred, that my adoptive mom would be my mom. Mm-hmm. It was that they hid my identity. I grew up in a family where they really treasured their culture and where we came from. But then at the end of the day, they didn't treasure where I came from and my culture and my identity as a woman of color, as Latina, as mixed race.
And so as a result, you started to share your story, because I do, again, believe that this is the type of secret people might say, well, it's not that unusual. You know, people adopt children and they don't know how to handle it, and they think sometimes it's better that we bury this. And what you've done over the years since making this discovery is try to help people understand why this is the kind of secret you don't want to keep, and the consequences of it. Well, coming up, Melissa's mother reveals why she kept the secret and what she has learned that perhaps you can learn from as well after the break. Paula, thank you so much for joining us. I know this can't be easy to relive a lot of this, but Melissa has dedicated so much of her life to this conversation because she believes that so much of her identity was taken from her, and as a result wrote that book, What White Parents Should Know About Transracial Adoption. When you learned that this had spurred this desire for Melissa to write about it and to tell others, how did that make you feel?
Honestly, I was a little bit afraid. Didn't know how to explain to her as to why I kept that secret for so long. It took me a while to find the words to explain to her my reasons to why I did that.
And for Melissa, again, for you, this is about reminding parents, particularly adoptive parents, that these secrets have consequences. And you bring it up in context of your identity that you've had to learn 19 years later.
Yeah, when I started doing research and learning more about identity, I realized that a lot of adoptees struggle with that, especially transracial adoptees. And it turns out that adoptees are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide. And we struggle with these identity issues and racial identity reclamation. And it's something that needs to be talked about a lot more.
And so now that, I mean, you have some years behind you and here you are today, How do you feel about it now, Paula? When you look at the situation now, how do you feel now?
Oh, the stress level is so much lower. Uh, the stress just kills you because you always wonder if someone in the family is going to slip and something to them. So it's always in the back of your mind. You're always wondering. You're always afraid, and and you're just like, how do I explain this after so long? And and that's how you feel. You just feel very stressed out because you kept that secret so long, and you want to tell them. At that point, being so long, you don't know how.
Well, Melissa, it sounds that after you stopped speaking with your mother over those years, you've reconciled, and now here she is at your side as you try to inspire others to not hold those secrets, because the consequences can be things that they never expect. Well, congratulations on speaking up, and I'm so happy to see you with your mother reconcile and sharing your story. Melissa's book is a fascinating one. It's called What White Parents Should Know About Transracial Adoption. It is available everywhere, and please let us know what you think. Go over to our social media page. Secrets, are you keeping any?